Hey guys, so today we will be discussing World War One artifacts from the Hayes Library and Museum. This is my son Ethan, and he will be showing you the artifacts, and I'll talk about them. So the first thing we have is an original World War One United States Army helmet. Now World War One was the first war which the use of helmets was widespread, and although we call it an American helmet, it was actually produced by the British. The British mass produced these, and when we got to the war, they said, here, have one of our helmets. We'll put your insignia on it, and we'll go to the front. That red insignia, I believe that belongs to the 1st Infantry Division, if I'm not mistaken. So, flip it over. The chin strap is original. There's a little bit of original lining. So this is what it would look like. The helmet was designed to protect you from exploding shrapnel from above. Here, knock on it. Show me how solid it is. Very solid. Yeah, good piece of metal. Like I said, these were used in the United States Army up until 1941, actually. And in 1942, they started producing another type of helmet, which we'll talk about when we get to World War II. All right, so what other artifacts do we have? Okay, this box was produced by a Russian prisoner of war in Germany. And if you look right here, it has the Romanov eagle. The Romanov is a royal family of Russia. And you have this cross. The Russians were generally very devout Christian, Orthodox Christian. And I think this box might have been used just as a little keepsake box to put rings and jewelry in. I always thought that was kind of cool. I like old boxes, by the way. Let's see what else we have. Here we have a medal, which was from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It was a medal that basically said you fought in the war. Nothing valor, no valor attached, just you served. It's like a participation medal. So it's like, hey, I went to World War One, got shot at some people, and I got a medal for it. Participation trophy. Yeah, flip it over. It's some inscription in German. I can't read German. One of these days I'll get it translated. That's a World War I Hungarian medal. Austrian medal, I'm sorry. Now this is really cool. This is a box, and I'm going to try to zoom in. This is from Christmas 1914. You see that right there. Christmas 1914. And it has the name of France on it. Russia. So anyway, this was a British, of course the Allies are on there as well, from Christmas 1914. And a lot of people got very patriotic about the war. This was the first Christmas of the war. And they took these little boxes and they filled them full of chocolate. They filled them full of writing utensils, like little pencil paper that they could write home with. So every British soldier got at least something from the people back home, from the home front. Go ahead and open it, Ethan. Take that paper out. That paper just came with it. It kind of explains what it is, but we're not going to look at it. We're just going to look at the box. And there we have the box. These are kind of rare to find. I got the dog in here. I got actually 2 dogs in here helping me present. That little Jack Russell right there, that is Scout Hayes. And that's Ranger Hayes. Hey, Ranger. Say hi. Or dude. Yeah, they like to hang out in the Hayes Library Museum. All right, so the next artifact is some binoculars. These are French World War I binoculars. They still work. I could take them to a football game if I wanted to, and they still, like I said, still work, still in good condition. These were used by the French in the trenches. So whenever the armies attacked, the officers would look through these binoculars and see who was winning, who was losing. So, Ethan, we'll look outside to what you see. What are the neighbors doing? They're washing their car.
They're kind of empty out there.
Kind of empty. Might help it. Oh, okay, you got the blind open. That's good. Well, we don't be too creepy, so go ahead and put those up. We do not use the binoculars to spy on the neighbors. I'm just joking. So what we have here, we have trench art. Now we'll talk about some trench art. During the war, you were fighting in the trenches, and you didn't fight every day. Basically, you spent long days, long weeks, even months without firing a shot. You got bored, and so the people who had some artistic talent would take ordnance and create works of art. So this right here is a French bullet that was fired. And if you look inside, there's a shrine inside. The French were devout Roman Catholics for the most part, and these were called pocket shrines. And these are actually can be found if you look hard enough. But that is the Virgin Mary inside there, and you just carried it in your pocket. And if you wanted to do a devotional to the Virgin Mary, you just took it out, put it up, and said whatever novenas or prayers. It does close up. See if you can get it to close. You turn the bottom and open it back up. See how that closes and opens? That's pretty cool. Thank you, Ethan. Here is another piece of trench art. This is from a French 75mm artillery shell. And this was made by an American. And he put some intricate engravings on it. Looks like little flowers, little roses. And this was probably given as a vase. There's the date. It says 1919. So this was made right after the war, after armistice. And so this was a vase. You would put some flowers in it, some water. You give it to your wife, girlfriend, your Sancha, whatever. Okay, this is my latest acquisition. I just bought these about a month ago. These were World War I leggings. And so these leggings were meant to be strapped to your legs, your shins, protect you from the mud and the water in the trenches. And they still have their original laces on it. Yeah, these laces. So you can open them up. Ethan, put it on your feet just so, or your legs, just to see how it goes.
I think, unless I've got them on upside down.
Yeah, I think the laces went to the front. That way you could lace it. So my son has some big calves, so they may not fit completely. Just so you know, the soldiers World War I were a lot smaller than people are today because we have better nutrition. I think the average size of the World War I soldier is about 5'9", maybe 140 pounds. Nowadays, we're usually over 6 foot or close to 6 foot, weighing over 200. So this is a knapsack. Now this is what you would carry your let's say you're carrying a map case, or maybe some extra food, some rations. And this actually has a name on it. It says JM something Ken Company C something U.S. Volunteers. I believe the story on this was actually a Spanish-American War era. And then because we got to World War One so quickly, we used some some Spanish-American War surplus at the initial phases of the war. And there it is, it's stamped U.S. Open it up. Kind of cool. I could actually use this at school if I wanted to.
Look there. Rock Island Arsenal.
Rock Island Arsenal. Rock Island, I believe, is in Illinois. And so that's good find, Ethan. I just now noticed that. So we discovered something today. Rock Island Arsenal. Awesome. Okay, now we have an ordnance book. This would be like to account for equipment that was issued, like receipt. So you open it up, put it upside down. You got it upside down, Ethan. It would tell you exactly what you're handing out. So the date is 1918. It's April 29th, and there's a date. They passed out 3 of something, I'm not sure what it is, but if you look through this, I mean, there's just all kind of stuff they were passing out. Can you read that? What does it say they're passing out?
Needles and harness.
Okay, needle harness, that would go to a horse. So during World War I, we still had a cavalry unit. Cavalry would use horses all the time. All right, let's go to the next one. That's some cool stuff. Now these are cool. These are original World War I dog tags. Now dog tags were used, and I don't want to be too gruesome here, but let's say you're going to battle and your head gets shot off, and your head ends up several yards away, and they don't know whose body this belongs to. Well, the dog tags were wrapped around your neck, and they're used to identify you in case you were killed in action. Now today's dog tags are, they tell you your name, but they also give which religion you are. If you're a Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever. It also has your blood type, so if you have to have emergency medical care, they know which blood to use. But in World War I, they're just more concerned about identifying your body. And they're called dog tags because starting in the early 19th century, or late 19th century, dogs had to be tagged in case they got lost. Well, these were used by humans in case their heads got lost or they weren't able to identify the bodies. At least the people back home would have some idea what happened to their loved one. Is there a name on those?
Yeah, there's one George F. McCutcheon and John J. McCutcheon.
So the McCutcheon brothers, the fact that their dog tags came back tells me that they survived the war. My grandfather had his dog tags. My dad has his dog tags. They kept them. All right.
You see in the back they have their numbers.
Yeah, and we got an ID number. That's cool. So now we're going to look at a picture. So I got this picture several years ago. These are actual American soldiers in the trenches fighting. It's kind of hard. I guess my heart, there's a glare. Let's put it up this way. That's a little bit better. But they're fine machine guns. See some smoke in the area, so probably artillery barrages going on. This photo was actually taken during action. They're just waiting for the German advance so they can mow them down. All right. You don't need all of it. Just pick one. Pick one. Okay. So these are toy soldiers from the World War I era. At one time, of course, growing up, I played with toy soldiers all the time. I actually still have some of my toy soldiers. And my toy soldiers are plastic. Back in those days, they were made out of tin or aluminum. These soldiers were actually the first plastic soldiers made because the tin and aluminum were being used for the war effort. The tin aluminum is going to weapons and trucks and airplanes, ships, that type of stuff. So these are actually hard plastic. These are the first toy soldiers to be made out of plastic. And as it slowly turns around, you see he's got on that same helmet we saw a while ago, the World War I helmet. And so I have several of these soldiers. They're in the middle. I'm just showing you one though. This is a newspaper article I found when my grandparents passed away. It's from the Chicago Tribune. And basically it's just telling a reminder of why the war was fought. It's propaganda. My grandmother saved it. I'll tell a little bit more about my grandmother here in a minute. But it says Germany declares war on Britain. And it talks about the domino effect. And this is from, like, again, 1918. After the war, explaining why we fought the war. If you ever get a historical document like this, don't laminate it. It ruins the value of it. Now, you know, as a historical item, I appreciate it. It is laminated, so it'll never ruin, but you're really not supposed to laminate this stuff. What's on the back? Someone wrote an essay. Okay. I'm not going to read it to y'all. Now, speaking of my grandmother, she saved that. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to show y'all. This is a parchment that was sent to my great-grandparents because my grandmother's older brother died during the war. He was not killed in action. He died in camp. He got the Spanish flu, influenza, and died of that. But because he was in the service, he's considered as a casualty. So it says, Columbia, which is the United States, America, Columbia gives to her son the accolades of the new chivalry of humanity. So basically she's welcoming him into heaven. There he is with the helmet on. And at the bottom it says, Joe Biva Harmon, that's my uncle, private, United States Army, served with honor in the World War, and died in the service of his country. So that's my uncle who died in World War I. He was, I think, 21 years old. All right, so that's it for my World War I collection. Give a special thanks to my son Ethan for helping me out.
Hi.
And my dogs who have disappeared. My dogs, your dogs, they're gone. All right. All right. Y'all have a great day. Take care and God bless.